Who else has an answer? Okay, what about Krisa? If we are given with the concentration, or if we are given with the pH value, and then we will get the concentration of your hydronium ion, what will be your formula? Krisa? Okay. Yes, Kyle was correct. So, because we have the formula of pH is equal to negative H concentration of your hydronium ion, then if we will get the concentration, we will just we will do anti-logging. So the formula there will be 10 raised to the negative pH. Okay. So what is the for the autoionization of water, what is the concentration of your hydroxide ion?
0.0001.
0.001. Mao na siya. Asa man nagikan, Krisa? Okay, so what is the autoionization constant of your water? Or the ion product constant we have?
KW.
Equal to concentration of OH minus times, diba? Na mo na siya. Then we know that KW is, what is the value of KW? That's constant. Don't forget that one. That is equal to, what is KW? KW is 1.0 times 10 to the negative 14. Now, if we will get the concentration of your OH, so if I will, ako na siyang i-let x, if we have that x, and then we will get x squared if the 2 is x. Okay, so square root. Okay. So X will be your concentration of OH that is also equal to the concentration of your hydronium ion. Then that will be 1.0 times 10 to the negative 14. That will be 1.0 times 10 to the negative 7. So your OH, okay, your OH is equal to 1.0 times 10 to the negative 7, and then your hydronium ion will be 1.0 times 10 to the negative 7. That's for the autoionization of water. Okay, unsa pa siya itong mga formula that kinahanglan nato memorize. Okay, so we also have this formula. Ka times Kb is equal to Kw. Then Ka is equal to, if we have the water, if we have your reaction of water, that will be the product. So we have, okay, let's make a reaction here. Okay, so if we have your HA plus H2O, what will be the product? It will be, Okay, the product will be H3O plus A minus. So your Ke there will be H3O plus times A minus over HA. So that will be your Ka. Now, okay, so if I have this reaction, wait, class. Okay, if I have this reaction C5, H5N plus H2O, then we will have C5H5N plus H plus. Okay, so determine the conjugate acid. So if I have this reaction, determine the conjugate acid. Again, when we say conjugate, so makita na to siya to the product side.
OH minus, ma'am.
That will be your acid. Remember, your acid donates protons. So, because this is a reverse reaction, now let's make sure that to find now when we determine the conjugate acid and the conjugate base is we will get this reaction, we will get this product. Okay nga, so if we identify as OH as your acid, kung mahimo siyang acid ang imong OH, no? Okay. Now, if OH is an acid, what will be the product? Okay. If that will be your conjugate acid, mahimo ang imong product, mahimo ani? Di ba mo donate? So, i-donate niya ni H. Okay. Now, in reverse reaction, madala ni siya, mahimo ni siya nani dili. No. So, it means that your OH minus is not the conjugate acid here. Conjugate acid is the one who donates protons and the product will be this one when we go to our reverse reaction. So, unsay buhaton? Okay, unsa man nato ni? Unsa man natong conjugate acid here? Okay, ang conjugate acid class ha, remember, basta acid, it donates proton. Now, if you identify that as conjugate acid, make sure nga inig reverse reaction mahimo kani ang ihang ma-product. Okay, what if kani C5H5 atong himong acid, so it will donate the H. Now, it will donate the H to OH minus. Then what will happen is we will have a product of C5H5 N plus H2O. Now, so it means that C5H5NH is your conjugate acid.
Acid.
Yes, Ca. This one, OH minus, is your conjugate base.
Base.
Okay, so in another class, now when you identify the conjugate acid and the conjugate base, make sure that imo yung nauna-una kung acid siya mo, donate siya. Kung base siya, mo accept siya. Now, what will be the reverse? What will be the product in the reverse reaction? Okay, mo gawas ba ni? Okay. Alright, imo ko yun. Now, if...
Something went wrong. Please try again.
Okay. So, if dili mo gawas, then that's not your That's not correct sa imong pag-identify as conjugate acid and then conjugate base. Then we have, okay, so if I have this reaction, HNO3 plus H2O, which will become H3O plus, and then we have NO3 minus. So, of the following, which is an acid?
HNO3.
Okay, do you agree? Do you agree, Ayana Jane?
Eh, sorry ma'am. Banha kayo ma'am.
Okay, so Ana si Kyle that the acid is the HNO3. Do you agree that the acid is HNO3?
Yes ma'am.
Okay, what about you, Dandy? Do you agree? Oh, si Dandy. Okay, Angeline, do you agree that the acid is HNO3? Mm. Okay, so this is your acid. Now, unsa ni siya? Strong acid or weak acid?
Strong, ma'am.
Strong as
Strong, ma'am.
strong ma'am.
Strong.
Okay, so that is a strong acid. Now, if okay, so if that is a strong acid, then we can have this one. Okay, so what will be the base?
H2O, ma'am.
H2O.
Okay, that will be H2O. All right, so that's it. Okay, so pang formula. We also have, okay, so we have also the diprotic or the polyprotic acids. Okay, what do you mean by, okay, what do you mean by diprotic? Sama ni. What do you mean by diprotic? Okay. What should I mean?
Duha yung proton, ma'am.
Okay, diprotic means,
Duha ka H plus nga proton.
okay, there will be two. Okay, there are two ionizable protons. So that is what we call diprotic. Now, if I give you, so what is the, okay, you are going to classify this one. So if we have this one, H2C2O3, what is this? Is this a monoprotic, diprotic, or triprotic?
Di, ma'am.
Okay, diprotic because there are two ionizable protons. Do we have that one? H2C2O3. Now, if we do that in a reaction, H2C2O3, if we react that with water, what will happen? So, it will become an acid, then it will donate the first H So we will have H3O plus, we will be left with 1H, HC2O3 minus. So this is your first ionization. Now that one will have a Ka1. That has a value of Ka1. And for the second ionization, we will use this one na pod. So HC2O3 minus plus H2O, then the product will become what? The product is
HO.
H, it's a H. The product is, it will donate. H3O plus. Now, class, pareha ra gyud na siya. Balik-balik ra gyud na siya. H3O plus, especially if it is an acid. H3O plus, and then the conjugate base. Plus, what? Okay, gihatag na niya class yung isa ka H. So, we will be left with C2O3 minus. And that will have a Ka2. Okay, so if I will ask you, what is the conjugate base in ionization 1?
H2O.
Conjugate base. When we say conjugate, makita na siya sa product side. We have
H3O plus.
HC2O.
HC2O3 minus.
okay, so dili ang H3O plus mahimo conjugate base. Kay kung base na siya, mudawat siya og H. Dawato ni niya nga H. So dapat mahimo na ni siyang H4. yeah, H4O plus and yeah, H4 there, H2O raman. So let's choose another. Now your conjugate base there is the HC2O3 minus. And then what about your conjugate? Sa ilahang duha class, kinsay nag-act as acid para maka-form ani nga product. Sa ilang duha, kinsay nag-act as acid para ma-form ani nga product.
Ang HC2O3, ma'am.
HC2O3 nag-act as acid.
Ito.
Ay, siya, ma'am, sa first one, ba, ma'am?
Oh, first. What is the conjugate?
Ang conjugate acid, ma'am, kay ang hydronium, ma'am.
Okay, conjugate acid is in number 1.
H3O plus.
H3O plus.
So, muhatag siya sa iyahang. Okay. So, inigmuhatag siya sa iyang H dire. So, it will form a product nga kini. Diba? Inana ra ninyo class pero di mo malibog. Nga make sure nga kung sa ilahang duha, there will act as acid and base to form the product nga kanina as a reactant. Now, para ma-form ni na product, then H3O plus should act as an acid to have H2C2O3. So this will be your conjugate acid, Ca, and then your Cb. Now, give me the conjugate acid base pair. The base pair in reaction 1.
H2O and HC2O3 plus.
Okay, I'll write how it's up. So we have the conjugate acid base pair is H
H2O.
H2O and
H2O and
HC2O3 plus. Minus di ay.
Okay, when we have the conjugate acid base pair, so if we have H2C2O3, that's the acid. Okay, determine sa na to ha. Acid, and then we have also the conjugate acid here, then will be the base. Okay. All right. So for the pair, to have a pair is we will determine the acid in the reactant part. So what's the acid in the reactant part? We have H2C2O3. Then we will pair that up with
H3O plus.
the base, the conjugate base.
HC2O3.
HC2.
Then what about
HC2O3.
H2O? Okay, that's the first pair. What about the second pair? H2O and
H3O plus.
Hydro.
HCO plus. H3O plus.
okay, that's it. Okay, so that will be the second pair. What about number two? What are the conjugate acid base pairs? So the first pair. So the acid must pair to the conjugate base. So acid must pair to the conjugate base. So we have HC2O3 minus
C2O3.
and what about the base? Conjugate base?
C2O3.
HCO3.
C2O3 and the second
HC2O3.
pair. For the second
Water.
pair, we have H2O.
Water.
H2O.
Okay.
H2O and
3O.
And okay, so that's it.
H2O.
Okay, so that's your conjugate acid base pair. So nanara siya. Now let's go. Okay, so we have the ice tables. Okay, we know the ice table. So the first thing in tips in ano jud in combating aning mga problems is you determine what is given and you determine what is asked. So we are here in this problem, we are asked of KA. Madunggan ako ninyo class, ba na kayo mo iro?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Dunggan po ninyo ang
Dunggan,
mga
ma'am.
truck, masakyanan.
Ang
Dili
iro
na
lang.
kayo. Mayro.
Gamay lang, ma'am.
Kamay lang.
Okay. All right. Now, so we have that one. Okay, in this problem, we are asked of KA. So we are asked of the KA, and then we are given with the concentration of the H pack. Okay, so that's your acid. Now, if that's the case, you do ice table. Okay, so ice table, okay, you input, then change for reactant is always negative. So we have negative 0.12 minus x, and then we have x and x. Now, to find, because Ka is product over the reactant, excluding H2O, so we have that one. Okay, so at equilibrium, mga itong gamito na values ha. So we have x squared 2.4. Now, what happened nga nung ang x is ihamang 2.4 times 10 to the negative 3? Asa man siya gikan? Dapat x ron ta ni ma'am. X ron ta na x.
Gigamitan o katong sa pH, ma'am.
Okay, giyon sa to. with the pH of H pack. All right. So because pH is given. Okay. Because in this problem, tingalasan ko, in this problem, we cannot assume directly nga ang concentration sa imong H pack is equal to the hydronium concentration because this is weak acid. Now, if for strong acids, we can. Mahimo na to ang concentration sa imuhang H3O plus is 0.12 if it is a strong acid. Now, because this is weak acid, and also we can use the pH. So we have that one. The pH is 2.62 and H3O plus is K. So pH 10 to the negative 2.62, that will be 2.4 times 10 to the negative 3. Okay, so that's it. Mahimo siyang 2.4 times 10 to the negative 3. Okay, then we have 0.12. Now, we need, ganun mang 0.12, ganun mang dili 0.12 minus x nga, kani man dapat atong isulat, ma'am. Why? Because we assume that the dissociation is very small, that it is negligible na. Because it's a weak acid, so the dissociation is very small. So ang X will be very small that it can be negligible. So, mao nga to siyang gineglect sa nato. And then, after that, when we check if our assumption na pag-neglect nato sa tong X is, we check using this one, the percent dissociation. Now, if the percent dissociation is less than 5%, then your assumption of neglecting X is correct. Now here, 2.0% ra ang imuhang dissociation, and that's smaller than 5%. So your assumption of neglecting X is correct. Okay, we have that one. Okay. Then, all right. So, okay, that's for polyprotic acids. Okay, for polyprotic. Now, for polyprotic, then we have two Kas. Okay. Now, let's go. Okay, so we have this one. Now we are going, let's go to KB. Okay. What is KB?
Equilibrium sa base, no?
Okay, so we have Ka, that is the equilibrium constant of your acid. Now if we have Kb, that's for base. So if we have this one, okay, the base. All right. Now if we have this equation, we have the base plus H2O, and then so we will get a product of, since it is a base, so it will accept a proton from your, making it BH plus OH minus. Now, your Kb there, your equilibrium constant is always a product over reactant. So we have concentration of BH plus times the concentration of OH minus over the concentration of B. Now, again, we know that tackle man to nato that to determine if it's a base. Okay, so bases are, if I have this, okay, if I have a metal, okay, if we have a metal and then it binds with OH2, what is that? Is that a base or an acid? That is a, what's siya? Base, acid.
Acid, guro.
Okay. Acid? Ni, di ba? Okay.
Base, base.
Okay. We talk about acids. Acids are those, it has H, and then you bind it with your halogens like HI, HBr. So your Br, then your HCl, even HF. Okay, so they are your acids. Or if we have the oxy acids, you have the HNO3. Okay, HNO3. We have the oxygen and then the hydrogen. And then we have H2SO4. That's your acids. HClO4, that is acidic. If you have oxygen and then an H, then that is an acid. Now here, a base, one thing to remember, that to identify that it is a base, if it is a metal, you have Mg. Mg is a metal. So if we have, again, now, okay, in group 1, group 2, any group 1 and group 2 bonded to OH, your hydronium ion will be a strong base. So that's it. So that is a base. Now also another identification to determine that it's a base is it has nitrogen. Nitrogen, okay. NH3, or baka primary amines, secondary amines, tertiary amines are bases. So if you can see an N, so it's a base. So okay, so if we have the base, now we know that the base accepts proton. Okay. So if you have your methylamine, so you have the R group, the R, and then you have your nitrogen and then your two hydrogens. Now, because of this lone pair, now this is basic. Okay, the lone pair will accept. Okay, it will accept the H from your water. Now making it NH3, so matulo na ka H, and then leaving OH minus. So again, the the main point here is that bases accepts proton. So it accepts proton from your water, which acts as an acid here. And then making it CH3NH3 plus, and we have an OH minus. Now, okay, so if I will ask you to determine the base here, what will be your base? What is the base in this reaction?
Methylamine.
Methylamine. Okay, so we have that base. And then who is the acid?
H2O.
Okay, acid is H2O. You see, class, acid and base always go together. One acts as an acid while one acts as a base. So they go together. Now, we in kato ganina, water, kaganina, water acts as a base. No? Ganina, water acts as a base. Now here, water acts as an acid. Why is it? Because that's ano, water is very special. It is amphoteric. We have it can act as base and it can act as an acid. Now, so here it acts as an acid. Then what is the conjugate base?
CH3 and H3 plus.
H3 and H. Something.
Conjugate base. Base. Now, base accepts proton. Base
OH
accepts
minus.
proton. Of the two, who accepts proton? Para mahimo
CH3
ni.
and H3 plus.
Siya ang ni-accept of proton. Kwao na po niya. Ibutang na po ni. Dira. So, mabilin. Wala na. O
Plus
na lang
IOH
minus.
minus.
OH minus.
OH minus.
Okay. So, your base here is the OH minus. Okay. It will, the proton here in your methylamine, okay, will be accepted by your OH minus para maka-form siya ani nga product. Because this is a reverse reaction class. When we say a reverse reaction, it will go forward para maka-form ani. And reverse reaction, the product can be your your reactant to form ani, which is your new product. So the forward and the backward reaction. So in this, your CB here is the OH. What about conjugate acid? Conjugate acid is
Kuan. Ang CH3 and F.
CH3 and
CH3 and
okay.
Plus.
All right. Now, what is the conjugate acid base pair? The base pair one.
CH3
CH2 and
H and
OH.
and OH
OH
minus.
minus.
Conjugate base acid. So, one is base and ang pares po niya diri here is acid. Base acid. Acid base.
Nalilibog na.
That's why pair galis lakas. Nalibog na mo no.
Nag-ungot.
Okay, when we say
Atong una kay base
what?
karon kay base ug
Let's
acid.
say base ganina, then we have
Ibog.
okay. Now the conjugate. We have here the base. Then we have the conjugate acid to make it a pair. Unsay ganina nag-ana deta ganina tanawa ninyo ha. And so if we have this base and then we have this one conjugate acid. So we have CH3 and H3 plus. And the second pair will be your H2O and OH minus. Ganina. Di ba maora man po niya to ganina?
Awol
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So make sure that conjugate base and conjugate acid base pair is the base from other side and then you pair it with the acid on the other side, or acid on the reactant side and then base on the product side. Acid base. So duha. Okay? Alright. Now, sige. I'll leave you na lang to conceptualize. Okay, so we have this one. Determining pH and Kb and initial B. Initial concentration of your base. So we have dimethylamine, CH3, CH2. Okay, please read the problem. We have salatan.
Ma'am, ako nakita, ma'am. Puti.
White scale siya, ma'am.
Okay, Adri, kana daw. Okay, Adrian.
Basahon. Determining
Yes.
determining pH from somni KB and initial B. Dithylamine CH3 to NH a key intermediate in detergent manufacture has a KB of 5.9 times 10 raised to negative power of 4. What is the pH of 1.5 m CH3 to NH? Perform this calculation as you did those for acids. Keep in keep in mind that you are working with KB and a base. Wala man, white screen man ni ma'am.
Okay, so kada enough na. Just read the
White screen
problem.
ay, way makita ay.
Okay, we have. All right, we have dimethylamine. So what is asked here? What is the pH? Unsay what is asked?
Ang pH siya 1.5.
Okay, asked
pH.
is pH.
pH. Ang pH.
All right, and then okay, what are given? Or no? Okay, so
Kuan, ma'am. Concentration, ma'am.
Gutom siguro na, ma'am.
wala kay kuan basta hiktan. Muhila kay bago pa man minuhian man gud ni din hiktan kay maglaag na. Sa duha.
Loya po.
Oh. Now we have this one. Okay, so what the given are? Okay, let's write that in an ice table para makita nato. So we have the reaction of. So we will write that one CH3 2NH plus H2O. Then the product will be
CH7?
CH3 2N. Okay, what will be the product?
NH3, NH2.
NH2 plus
Times
OH
OH minus.
minus. Okay, we have that one. Now for initial ice tables. Okay. So we have ice tables. What's the initial? Concentration given is only 1.5. Okay, this one. 1.5 molar. That is 1.5 molar. Then we have, sa pala yung initial class? Wala na, no? Alright, so 0, 0. And then for the change, we have negative x. Then we will have positive x. Then we have positive x. Okay, at equilibrium,
1.55
1.5
minus x.
X.
Okay, so we have that one. Now we are given with KB, which is equal to 5.9,
Times 10 raised to negative 4.
which is 5.9 times 10 raised to the negative 4. Now, KB here is CH3, diba? CH3 to the concentration of NH2 plus times the OH
OH
minus.
minus.
Okay, over CH3 to NH. Okay, we have that one. Now, we are we have that one. So how are we going to treat the problem?
Substitute, ma'am.
Substitute ang mga numbers.
Okay, so we will have x squared, no? X squared over 1.50 minus x. Now, for us, we can, I know this one, we can neglect the x here. We can neglect the x here. So, to have, para mas easy po siya i-solve, okay, so we will have 5.9. Okay, 5.9
5 times 10 raised to negative 4.
times 1.50, no? 1.50 is equal to x squared. So, x is equal to, bilang x? Okay, so multiply 5.9 times 10 to the negative 4 times 1.5, then square root. We have 5.9 times 10. Pila na siya? Times 1.5. Square root of ounce. Okay, so x is pila? 0.
00885.
Ha?
Tulo ka
0.00.
0.
Square root na, Aryan, is
Ay, square root din eh.
okay because we're going to get x only. So x is equal to 0.0297
023. Aw. Puro
7
ka 0.3.
or we can
0.03.
approximate that to 1x is equal to 0.03 molar. Now, this is equal to, that is equal to
2.97 times
CH3
CH3, NH,
to NH. Then that is also equal to the concentration of OH minus. Okay, so we have that one. Now, nana tayo value sa atong OH, no? Concentration, OH concentration is equal to 0.03 molar. Now, we are asked of pH. We know that pH is equal to negative log of H3O plus. Now, to
yes,
get
ma'am.
H3, okay. So, we are given, but ang nakuha na to is OH minus because this is a base. Kung saan man nato pagkuha para makakuha tag H3O plus?
Minus yung kuan, ma'am. Sa 14. Ano to? KW?
Okay, so we will use naapod ka idea. Yes, gamito na to na niya, Kyle. So we have that one. We know that Kw is equal to the concentration of OH minus times concentration of H3O plus. Now, we have, so, ano class? Memorize nyo din yun ng mga form nyo. W, we have the value of OH. Now, we can get H3O plus here. So H3O plus concentration is equal to Kw over OH minus. So that is 1.0 times 10 to the negative
14.
14 divided by 1.0 times 10. Oh, no. No. We have the OH here. The OH is
0.03 molar.
0.03 molar. Now, KH3O plus is pila? Pila class? Ano ko'y calcio? 3.36 times 10 raised to the
To the
negative
power.
13. Molar. So we have the H3O plus. Now let's go back to the question we are asked of pH. Now we can solve pH now. So pH is equal to negative log of H3O plus. So that is equal to negative log of
33.
3.36 times 10 to the negative 13. Now, pH is equal to, negative log ninyo na class.
12.48.
So that is 12 point, nasulat na. Okay, here na lang. Now, is it reasonable? Is our answer reasonable?
No.
Wala ka no.
No? Not? Why man?
Pwede rabiya, ma'am.
Okay. So
Ay, yes,
we
ma'am.
are asked, no?
Dili siya,
Yes,
ma'am.
kaya nga naman.
Ay, base man siya, ma'am. So, yes, ma'am. Reasonable siya, ma'am. Dako man siya sa 7.
Okay, this is a base.
Oh yes, this is a base. So 12.
So since it's a base, so the pH is 12.48. Now, our answer is reasonable. Because base biya siya, so the pH will be 12.08. Okay, so we have other katong itry to na to ganina. We have OH na no. We have this another formula. Yeah. So we have this one. Okay. pH, di ba? pH is negative log of H3O plus. Now, if you are going to find also for POH, that is negative log of
Hydroxide.
OH minus. So we have that one. Okay. Now, we know also this formula. pH, no? pH plus POH. Kinsa nakakuan ani nga formula is equal to 14. 14. Review. POH. pH. pH. Alright. So we have that one also. We have that formula also. pH plus POH is equal to 14. Now, balik ta here. We have the OH. We already have the concentration of your OH. Now, if we will get the POH of that, so, kani nga formula ha, dinatamo to sa diretso ta POH. POH is negative log of OH minus. So, negative log of, what's the OH?
0.03.
0.3. So, pila na siya class? pH. That is 1.52. No, 1.52. So, the POH, okay, POH is 152. Now, if we are going to find, we also have this formula. We have that formula that when we get pH plus the POH 1.52 is equal to 14. 14 minus 1.50. Wow. Okay. So we have 12.48. So the pH nakakuha tag same. Same atong nakuha dili.
Same, ma'am.
Okay.
12.58.
So yes, now which formula asa man okay, or you can either way
Basta
you
yun,
can use
Sa'yo
so
na
yun
siya,
ang
ma'am.
kung
ang
latter
KW
ma'am.
Siya.
Dili ma'am, ang
latter.
latter
Okay,
ma'am.
masayon siya no. Okay, this one. So we have this one. Okay, pwede rin ninyo na ikuan. So pH plus POH is equal to 14. Now, if we have pH is equal to negative log of H3O plus, then you can get also the POH of negative log of OH minus. Now, kung papangitaon lang if you are given with the POH, pangitaw pH, then you can minus 14 minus pH or POH minus or minus 14 minus pH, that will be POH. Okay. Or, para di mo kuan, you can use KW. KW, kani jud siya. Always na jud ni siya nga formula. So, take note na ninyo yung mga formula there, klase pang backup na na. Okay. Yung mga equation, don't forget the equations na. We have that one. Okay, so one last problem na lang tabi. Now we have this one. Okay, this problem. Sodium acetate. Sodium acetate. Okay, please read. Okay, please read. Emma.
Sodium acetate CH3COON. Di ko. Okay ra ba sa ni ma'am?
Sige,
COON.
i-search sa ninyo unsa na bi? Sodium acetic.
Sodium acetate naman
Sodium
siya.
acetate. Okay. Sodium acetate.
Sodium acetate CH3 COONA or NaAC for this problem has application in photographic development and textile dyeing. What is the pH of 0.25 molar Na ano sa pagbasa ano? NaAC when Ka of acetic acid HAC is 1.8 times 10 negative 5.
Okay, Emma, unsay basaan ni?
Sodium acetate gyapon na.
Sodium acetate.
Okay, sodium acetate. Gisulat raman dira. All right. Now,
Okay ba?
okay, so what's the problem? What is asked? It's the pH. What is the pH? Okay. pH. Sa pailaan. Okay, the given. Ke. And then we have concentration. NaAC. So, if we will, now, magbuhat siya mong equation class. Okay, we have that one, CH3, acetate, COO, Na, plus H2O. Okay, you react that with water. Then what will be the product?
CH2 COONA plus hydronium.
What happened? Oh,
H
you have that one CH3 gihapon. Kani raman inyong ipakuan class O, kani sodium raman ang mo react sa OH and here. So we have that one CH3 COONA H plus OH minus. Same rang R group. Same.
Acid na siya. Ay, dili din na siya acid, ma'am.
It's a base.
Ay, base
Sodium
din.
acetate.
Oo, yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's a base. Now, okay, tanawa class, we are given with H. So, K is given. Okay, we have that one. Now,
I stable.
okay, we have the I stable. So we have ice. Okay, pH is 0. So, sodium acetate is, we
0.25
have, didn't know,
molar. 0.25 molar.
molar minus X. So that will be 0.25. 0.25 minus X. Plus, kamo na yan na dira ha. Then, we will have also, okay, so we have the, what about the concentration of your sodium acetate, no? What about the concentration of this one? Sodium acetic. So we have 0.
0.
0, no? 0.
Yes, ma'am, 0.
0. Okay, then for the
Then 0
change.
put
Okay.
X.
Then we have that one. Now, since this is a base, Ke nga Kb makuha nato is concentration NaH plus times concentration of OH minus, that is over to
CH3COONA.
A. That is KB. Now, we are given, sa pa ito given na to? Okay. KB is, siya. And then we are given with KA. Kung saan man nato ni class? We are given of KA. This is a base, and then we are given of KA. Natin lang yung formula, class.
Kuan ma'am, na pH ma'am.
See,
Ang
it's
kuan, concentration sa
Given ang kuan ma'am, ang sodium acetate.
Sodium acetate.
given a concentration sa sodium acetate ma'am.
Which is
Okay,
one
sodium acetate. So, 0. Okay. Yes, naa na siya. Makuha na to na diri. Na siya no, dira. Na siya diri. Okay, given. This one will be X. This one will be X. Okay, butang na to be. So, we have that one. KB is equal to X squared, no? Over pila. Let's neglect X. We have 0.25. 0.25 molar. No. Then we are going to find X here. To find X, we will natin value sa KB, wala. Ready? Wala.
Moment sige pangit. Ay wala.
pH. Okay, we are asked of pH. Now, but we are given with Ka. Okay, so we have that
Value
one.
sa KW,
Okay, value sa
ang value sa KW ma'am kay 1 times 10 to the negative power of to the negative 14.
okay, that's
So,
KW.
constant ba siguro na siya?
What about, is there a formula nga na a relationship ang Ka o Kb?
Yes ma'am, Ka times Kb is equal to KW.
Okay, this one. Yes, Ka times Kb is equal to Kw. So we can use that one. So since wala man taan ng Kb, let's get Kb. So we have Ka times Kb is equal to Kw. Now Kb here will be Kw over Ka.
Ka.
So Kw is pila?
1.0 times 10 raised to negative 14.
What about Ka?
1.8 times 10 raised to
Okay,
negative 5.
so calculate. Kb is equal to, calculate class.
5.6 times 10 raised to negative 10 molar.
Divide. Pila Ariel?
5.6 times 10 raised to negative 10.
Okay, 5.6. Pwede duha diri. Okay, times 10 raised to the negative 10. That's your KB. Okay, so butang na to na siya. 5.56 times 10 raised to the negative 10. That is, so it times 0.25 molar. That will be your x squared. Now square root. So x is equal to pila.
Split should I?
Pila x is equal to 1. Ala, sige class. Nag-guess ra ni diri class? Ako ra siyang gidiretso. Okay. Pantalan, nakagets ra ani pantalan? Christian, Kyle. Wala?
Malibog ma'am. Malibog ma'am.
Okay. Ako ra siyang gidiretso siya. So, we have that one, di ba? Okay, what about, asa ka nalibog? Diri pa. Here,
Kaya lang sa TV ma'am. Kay,
we have this
yes ma'am.
formula. Like, because this is a base and then we are only given with Ka. So if it is a base, so the equilibrium constant of that should be Kb also. But we are given Ka, so but dili ta ma-worry because we have also the relationship of that. Ka times Kb is equal to Kw. Now to get Kb, Kw divided by Ka. Correct? Because we divide both sides with Ka. Okay, gets pa ni diri no? Okay pa? Dandy? Hello? Okay, Emma. Emma, na-gets pa ni diri, Emma? Kb is equal to Kw over Ka?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay, okay. So we have that
Ma'am.
one. Okay, kinsa to? Dandy.
Kanang asa tayo gikuha ng asa tayo gikuha gani ning kuan ma'am 1.0 times 10 to the 4 kanang sarang duha ma'am.
Kani, constant na siya, Dandy. Kw constant na siya. We have, that is 1.0 times 10 to the negative 14. Unsa
Okay, ma'am.
pa?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, kani 1.8, given man ang 1.8 here, di ba? Okay, 1.8. So we have Kb. Okay, nakuha na natong Kb. So let's go back. Because, di ba itong makuhaan ni sa ice table, Kb is equal to x square. X square because we let CH3COONH as x and also the OH as x. Divided by the product which is CH3COONA. Okay, we have that Kb. Now, so we have Kb is equal to x squared over 0.25. Nga no, 0.25 man imong gibutang, dili man 0.25 minus x. Kay mao man jud tani dapat. However, we base is very little. The x man ang dissociation na ni class ang change. So we just neglect it. Okay, so ato lang siyang gineglect. So, para pud madali ato ang pag-solve. So we have 0.25 molar. Now, yes?
Unsaon pagkabalo ma'am kung kailangan siya i-neglect ma'am or dili siya i-neglect ma'am?
Now, okay. So if you have your weak acid or weak base, you can neglect if Ka value is times 10 to the negative 5 or lower. Okay, lower sa times 10 to the negative 5. Or because pwede pud ka if di ka mo tan-aw ana, then you can also neglect first and then you confirm using your percent dissociation. Katong if less than 5%, then your assumption of neglecting is correct. Or if higher than 5%, then dili nimo siya i-neglect. You redo calculating. Okay.
Okay ma'am, thank you ma'am.
So if less than times 10 to the negative 5, imuhang Ka.
Ma-apply po na siya sa KB, ma'am.
Yes, Ka and Kb. And then also
Okay,
put,
ma'am.
you can confirm. You can confirm using the katong percent dissociation, concentration of your acid, example HA, that dissociated, and then you have your HA initial. Okay, so we have that one. Now, after ani. Okay, so if input na to ang 5.56 times 10 to the negative 10, gikan dire. Then we multiply that to 1. Di ba? Cross multiplication here. Cross multiply.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will be left with x squared. Now, because dili x squared atong gipangita is OH, and then OH is just x. So we will use K. Ato din siyang i-square root na po dayon. Okay guys, ako value ani ba? 5.56 pila ni?
1.7, 1.8 times 10 raised to
Duha,
negative
duha
5.
ah. Point
1.18, ma'am.
18
Yes, ma'am.
times 10 raised to the negative
Negative 5. 5.
5. Then square root of that to get x. X is equal to square root na nimo. 5.56 times 10.
Yes, ma'am. Na-square root na
Balik.
siya, ma'am.
Ayaw sa square root.
Balik
Kaya
ko
pa
na ko
naka-square
time.
root dili.
Kuan. 1.39 times 10 raised to negative 10.
1.39. Okay, square root x is equal to 0.18.
Pilit
Ano,
lagi
no?
mo. Wala siya.
Okay. Dali to class ko. Okay, we have that one. Then we have, okay, so x is equal to 1.18 times 10 to the negative 5 molar. Now we know that x is equal to the concentration of your OH minus. And then, if I ask you what is the concentration of CH3COO plus?
Ang value sa X, ma'am.
Okay, still the value of x. That is also equal to CH3COONAH plus. Okay, we have that one. Now, unsa pala ang gipangita? We are asked of pH again. pH gihapon ha. Now, we have the value of POH. So, unsay sunod na tong next step, class? Diba, we have this one. Kani atong formula gamiton, class, oh. Masayon ni siya. So, we will use that one, ha? So, first thing is, okay, first thing is, POH is equal to negative log of OH minus.
Minus.
Now, POH is equal to, pila to? Pila to, Ariel? 3. 1.18. No? Class?
1.8.
Agree?
1.18 times negative 5.
We
Kaba mo
have times 10 raised to the negative 5. So, POH is equal to pila? 10. Sige. Charissa, Krisa, what is that? Pila man ni class? 4.93. Hello, pa ni nakuha? Okay, we have that one.
4.93, ma'am.
Alright, so we have POH of 4.93. Okay na? PH pa jud ang gipangita class. So we have, okay, nata ang relationship POH plus pH is equal to 14.
40.
So we have that one pH is equal to 14 minus POH. So pH is equal to pila?
9.07.
9.07. Is it reasonable?
Yes, ma'am. Kay base man siya, ma'am.
Yes, it's basic. So we have the final answer, which is pH is equal to 9.07. Naman yung answer. Okay. Here. Nara yung answer, class. Wrong ta, class. Okay.
Sakto lang ma'am kay
So,
9.0.
alright. So, gamay ra kayo siya, no? Naaratay kaning mga kuan.
Iyahalang
Dili-
ko ng yang digit.
Okay. So, we have that one. 9.08 at 9.07. Okay. So, that's correct. Nagka-wrong na.
Doon lang.
Okay. Naalatay discrepancy sa mga point. Okay. We have that one.
Sa pag-round off, guro na, ma'am.
Yes. True. Okay. All. Now, let's go para sa to exam. Then, next week, okay, we have
Exam next week.
Mag-pre-final ta, ma'am.
say pre-final. Every ano ra ko
Pre-final
siya
exam.
ano lang ko every chapter ang akong gina-calculate. So more na tong kining sa mo isa ka subject chapter nagsige may exam and then we will have ano na dayon kaning exam na dayon kaning comprehensive exam meaning it's final exam that covers from prelim to finals. Okay. So per diri we will not ano lang di lang ta mag-final.
Ma'am?
Ha? Pero dili ta mag-comprehensive exam.
Okay,
I-divide na lang nimo ang kuan ma'am. So, ang kaning
Ha?
acid base equilibria kay sa final na ning acid base equilibria or
Ay, duha.
midterm or gihap. Di ba ma'am naa siya midterm ug final?
Yeah.
Ala putol-putol.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Ano sang exam gani, ma'am? Next week?
Exam ani next week. Tuesday or Thursday?
Week, just
Na may klase Thursday, ma'am.
Tuesday. Mag-discuss
Tuesday po,
mo
ma'am. Na may klase, ma'am.
Kana lang
Dapas
mo.
mo gud ang mga maestra kuan ma'am sa mga activities mo nang na may mga dili may bakante.
Yes, ma'am. Murag wala gyud may bakante na, ma'am.
Sa Tuesday, wala may vacant sa Tuesday. Sa Wednesday, ayaw ng Wednesday.
Wala.
Gusto na ko kala kung dili ato ang klase. Kay
Saturday
magklase
na lang, ma'am.
Ay, pagsabot mo,
Saturday na
okay?
lang, ma'am. Kay
Kamu na lang pagsabot, please.
Magbuhat og poll.
Na may simba sa Batugon. May kuan.
Naisip ba?
Oh,
Naisim
kamo
ba
na
dyan
lang
ang mga
pagsabot ha, then you tell me na lang. Basta kay Friday, we will have a laboratory gihapon. Then, also after that one, we will discuss ionic equilibria after that, after the laboratory. Someone. Okay, we have, sige na, Lewis acids and bases at the class.
Dili
Okay,
naman ka
now,
mag-meet sa south, no? Sorry.
ha?
Yun na lang ma'am, sa GC na lang namo ikuan.
Oh, sige. All right, now final na, last, sige, last for today. We have the Lewis acids, okay? Now, we are ganina, it's atom proton acceptor, proton donor. It was the definition of Arrhenius. Okay, si Arrhenius, he's a scientist. Then, now here, we also have the of Bronsted-Lowry of Lewis. So we have the conjugate acid base from Bronsted-Lowry. So, ang class is that the acids accepts electrons. We have this one. And the base do electrons. We have, so, electron pair accept, have electron pair donor. So we, as your acid, it will accept the electron, the dot here, the pair. So then this will become your acid. It accepts electron, then for base, it donates electron pair. So, margi ilang kang Arrhenius is he talks if protons. Now, but for Lewis Bronsted, he talks about the electron pair. Okay, the electron pair. Upon class, the same thing, Rajapon. If we have, okay, all right, if we have this reaction, now when we talk about Lewis, nabasin makuan din mo, nakalimot ko sa Lewis unsa to. But same thing ra gihapon. It will accept ihalang idea is it will accept electron and then the product will be like this also. Same ra sila Arrhenius ug si Lewis og product. Just that Lewis talks about electrons and then Arrhenius talks about protons. Okay, naapa ko or nawala ko?
Dili na si Bronsted-Lowry sa protons, ma'am?
Arrhenius.
Si Arrhenius, ma'am. Unsa gito si
Okay.
Bronsted, ma'am? Bronsted-Lowry.
Okay, this one, electron acceptor and electron pair donor. Now, if I have this one, okay. So, identifying Lewis acids and bases. Okay, so we have this one. Identify the Lewis acids and bases in the following reactions. So, if we have the first reaction, okay, di ba, H plus and the OH minus, it's the same thing, gihapon. It will yield H2O. Now, here, who accepts, determine in letter A, determine the acceptor or the acid here.
Ang H plus, ma'am.
Acceptor CH plus.
And then the donor is the OH. Then letter B, we
Minus.
have
Ang acceptor kay si B.
Ang acceptor kay si ang acid, ma'am, kay si BCl3.
okay, BCl3. And then the base or the proton donor, electron pair donor, okay, Cl. Okay, your chloride ion. So that will be your base. Okay, so inanaha malibog na pud mo ani. Sige. You conceptualize na lang. Then we have letter C. Okay, so we have that one. Now, so that's all today, class. Okay. So ay lang mo kalibog the Lewis and the Arrhenius. So ask basin mangot kuan mo Lewis and acid. Halam nakalimot ko but the same thing or gihapon iyang product. Okay, just that electrons and protons. Okay, so that's all for today. Sige na class kay maglungag pa ko. Yan po
Sige
class.
ma'am, mga ons pa po ni
All
ma'am.
right.
Kami
So,
po,
okay.
ma'am.
Oh, ako maglungag pa ko napay muli gikag duty. Sige. We have this one. Okay, mag-ano lang ko ha pagka Friday. Maka-storyer pa man gyapon ta. Okay, so that's all on Friday. Little review and then start on ionic equilibria. So, you finalize the schedule of your
Ma'am.
exam. Ha?
Next chapter na ng ionic equilibria.
Yes, ionic equilibria. Okay, here we talk about acid base. So next we will talk about ionics or ions. Okay, so that's all. So masaya na Japon siya. We will talk about ice tables. We will talk about KA. Dili na KA. So KSP. Ano na siya. All right. So that's all. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Ay,
Bye,
Okay,
ma'am.
so you just review and then ano ha? You review and then you kining kuan. Inyong summarize tong mga formula. Okay, para makatabangan niyo.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So bye-bye.
And mangayo mi sa record, ma'am.
Okay, sa recording mag-download pa.
Yes. Ma'am. Thank you. Wow, genius to kay si Ima, oh. Sige na, bye-bye, everyone.
Pabilin sa latan. Yo.